go over
No,
there?
it's good. There's yellow.
Okay.
It started. It's live.
All right. Are you guys back again? We don't know for sure when we lost you. So I'm just going to keep talking for a minute and hopefully we'll
Nobody's
see you
there.
guys peeking up.
There.
Oh, Tammy and Elaine, so glad you could be with us. Okay, so when last we met, we were discussing how this fun little ruler we might want to try to place against the edge. But the truth is, our eye is easily tricked by the light that reflects through this guy. And so the better idea is to go ahead and scoot it into the interior so that you can really see. So I'm looking at right here, and I can see that that's where my line is. And then do you see how the next line over would be the yellow one? And how I am up here, I'm dead on. But as the seam continues, do you see that little gap? That little gap multiplied by 100 squares across a quilt is enough to start to push things off. And I stay off all the way through. I can tell you exactly what happened. When looking at this foot, I wasn't sure if I should be watching. Oh, let's bring it down here. When looking at this foot, I wasn't sure if I was watching this edge of the foot or this edge of the foot. And that was enough to push me off, which is why I really like this guy with his little guard. Okay, so we're gonna flip things around and I'm just gonna go ahead and sew a little piece of this. Nope, remember my leader. Okay, leader so that nothing gets chewed up under the feed dogs. Let it just pull it right in. Get everything lined up nice. And now do you see how if I bump up against the edge, it's sort of pushing it like, do you see it push up? That will help me keep myself in the right way. So now I only have to watch one direction of pulling it out too far. While I'm sewing, I don't need hands back here because the feed dogs are gonna pull it through. The hands up here are gonna be lightly touching. This finger right here is just being a guide, and then Becky kind of pull back to where my hands are here. I actually create a kind of guide between the two fingers, and that way I can just keep going and going and going. Now, do you see this bubble that's happening? You don't. I can. And it's a bubble that we don't want to happen when we're doing real piecing, because that will eventually push us out of place. Okay, excuse me just a second. We're gonna open this guy up. We're gonna do our second piece right here. We're gonna get our little leader guy. Leader gets started in the middle so nothing gets shoved down. Go ahead and pull that in. Lift into place. Fingers become guides, no pressure. If I'm applying pressure, I'm stretching the fabric. If I'm stretching the fabric, I'm changing the shape of the seam. If I'm changing the shape of the seam, I am increasing my lack of accuracy. I'm becoming more inaccurate, okay? So my hands are like barely touching, far enough. Okay, so what we want to be able to do now, let's go ahead and look at how I did on the seam here. Again, we're going to use the middle of our ruler so that we can look at our yellow line along our edge. And now you can see with the guard, my seam is a lot more accurate. That's why I choose that one. Okay, now we're going to press open. Finger pressing, push with the nail, but be careful not to, so like I'm trying to make sure that my pressure is straight down, not out. Because if I start pushing things out, I can skew things again and get out of alignment. So now I should be able, do you see how I'm exactly an inch? That means I have a proper 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way through. Okay, that's how to test. If you are not getting a real 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're a little over one way or the other, even with a guard, check your needle position, shift it one way or another until you're getting a real 1/4 of an inch, because that real 1/4 of an inch is going to make all the difference in the world. The last thing I wanted to show you, pressing tools. So you saw me do that finger pressing. I have watched people in class really skew this, so I also wanted to introduce you to these tools. This one is a wooden press. Come on, machine, you're in my way. Scooch over. And it will allow for that pressing to happen like so, but this one is the safest of all, where you just roll it, because this one can't push it out of the way nearly as much as this guy and this guy can. So here's your safest finger pressing. Is finger pressing enough? You're right, it's not. You still need to go visit your iron. You need to go visit your iron for 2 reasons. One, if you do a really nice hot press, you get a flat seam. That flat seam means when you do your next layer of stitching over the top, you're not having to like up and down the hill, which makes that next seam. And also, you need to move your body. We as quilters have a tendency to sit upon our rump until our rump goes numb and our ankles are swelling and we're really uncomfortable, but the quilt's amazing. But guess what? We can have a body that's comfortable and a quilt that's beautiful. If we work in batches and make sure that we get up and go to the ironing board, it gets the body circulating blood again. Our ankles don't have to get so huge, and our brain gets active again. When we physically sit still, there are parts of our brain that goes to sleep. We want those brains to be active and alert. When we get up and we move our body and take our big leg motions, the brain wakes up on both sides and we start to move again. So if you've got kids who've been staring at Zoom screens, they need to get up and go to the ironing board too. So just like they need to move, you need to move. And that is where we are going to stop our tips and tricks on Tuesday at 2 for today. Come and see us again next week. Oh, I forgot. Marcia has a thing she wants to say, so Marcia's turn.
My turn. Hey guys. Okay, I think Sandy gave you some awesome info, and we are really glad you're joining us today. I did want to give you guys a little bit of a heads up about the store and what's happening. First off, I want to let you all know that we are going to give a shout out to the first response disinfecting team who came into the store, and bless their sweethearts, they disinfected the whole store. I just wanted to let you all know that, because I'm sure, you know, like all of us, we were concerned when we did find out that there was a possibility that COVID had entered the store. So just FYI, it's all been disinfected and we're good. So heads up for that. Second, let's see, Sandy, I know that you probably talked about the
We talked about the quilt show,
Yes.
and we talked about the ruler class.
All right, perfect. Oh, and last but not least, for those of you who have ordered from us on our Ticket to Quilt and also on our Facebook Live Comment and Sold, we are working like little troopers to get those things put out. I do want to let you know that just like everywhere else, our distributors and the people that we are actually able to order from are feeling the effects of the COVID virus along with the mutant strains of COVID. So our orders that I'm receiving, so I can fill your orders, are running a little bit behind. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up about that, because I don't want you to think you're not getting your orders. We are working frantically to get them, and we're waiting on a couple of things that have been ordered and we're waiting for them to come in. So I just wanted to kind of let you know we're not ignoring you, I promise. We are doing all we can to get this taken care of just as quickly as we can. And as always, we really appreciate y'all joining us. So anyway, that's it for tips and tricks. Thank you, Sandy, for letting me pop in here and share the word. So again, thank you, First Response Disinfecting. We are all good to go. So y'all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock for our Facebook Live Comments Sold. I have a really cool new tool to show you. So we'll see you then, guys. Thanks so much.